So it looks like more folks have joined in since we started this morning, and we began with the title song for the sermon. Some of y'all remember, we sang Woyaya. Y'all remember? It seems so long ago after being wild with Shari singing. I done almost forgot. She done took me to church like 3 times today already with her vocals. I'm so grateful. Yes. And so what I want to ask to ground me, y'all know I'm kind of nervous. This is my first time, doing this without Reverend Taryn here. And so to help me settle, thank you, I see you, thank you. To help me settle, I want us to sing a little bit of Woyaya, if that's all right. And we're just going to sing the Woyaya part. Woyaya, 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 yes, thank you. Woyaya, yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I love how y'all just get into the spirit here. And thank y'all, because I feel like even folks back home are sending some energy of support here. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. And so I want to ask y'all another question, because the 9 a.m. service, the 9:15, 9:30. So they knew this answer. So do y'all know that Woyaya, what Woyaya means? Y'all don't know? It means we are going. We are going. Yeah, that's what Woyaya means. And so that word, it came to us through Ghanaian drummer Sol Amarifio. I might be saying his name wrong. He is a member of the Afro-Caribbean band Osabisa, who made their home in London in the 70s. And I've heard that our very own Jeep has heard their music live. If y'all have not heard Osabisa sing Woyaya, y'all need to check them out. Those beats, they get you moving in a different way. The way I first heard this song was through Dr. Issei Barnwell of Sweet Honey and the Rock. Y'all familiar with Issei Barnwell? Yeah. We sing a lot of those like breaths and we familiar. And she's the one who gifted the Unitarian Universalist Association with the song to make the connection for Woyaya to be in our hymnal. And I learned this song from her directly when I was taking a graduate course at Star King School for the Ministry, one of the UU identity schools. And it was a class, Our Songs Know Who We Are. And so I just thought it was so beautiful that this song, Woyaya, with its history, is included in this class, Our Songs Know Who We Are. And Dr. Barnwell and our hymnal information page, it taught me that this Woyaya song is a song that was heard sung in work camps across West Africa. Dr. Barnwell shared the imagery of people bent low, hard at work, laboring, singing with their spirits lifted as if it was the reminder that their present struggle wasn't their permanent story. I say that Woyaya may not have been born a gospel spiritual, and it definitely didn't have that beat to the music that's going right now from somebody's phone. But you know what, though? I believe that this song, even back then, the way that it was shared, that it carries a similarly fierce spiritual energy that says, we are going. That song is saying that we won't be here forever. And this is the music that unites us as a faith. Songs that tell us that we won't be there. And it's not in denial, but it's in a determination. It has lyrics that go on. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. And then they say that in heaven, and so, as you use, we're not all united on what this heaven, means. So great spirit of life, perhaps this mystic law of the universe, or the goddess who patterned the stars, perhaps she knows how we'll get there. But whatever the case, it's your work or our work to believe that we will get there, wherever there is for you. And in that belief, you got to keep it moving on your way there, because that's what faith is. Not doctrine, not certainty, but courage in motion. And I just moved here, so I don't know about y'all, but I've had times in my life where I've needed that kind of faith to lean on. I've had hard times where I didn't know how I was going to make it when the bills didn't line up with the budget. I know some of y'all are like, what? You was going through that? Yes, yes, yes. When medical care or VA support, it suddenly vanished. Yes, yes, yes. Dealing with times where I have loved ones who are struggling to get by, especially now that SNAP benefits have been cut. Some of y'all might have people in this situation. Talk about roads that are muddy and rough. Or if not those, maybe it's moments when the world breaks your heart again with these shootings that happen in our schools and our sanctuaries, in these spaces that are meant to be with prayer and laughter, and instead they're pierced by violence. These are moments that test us, moments that tempt us towards despair, and still, our common story isn't finished. Still, we have music that sings to us, Woyaya, we are going. We're moving from that situation, from this present circumstance. We keep moving forward towards greater healing and greater hope. Earlier in our Time for All Ages story, we heard a Buddhist parable from my sacred book, the Lotus Sutra. And this parable of the magic city told a tale of travelers who were exhausted and ready to give up. Perhaps y'all might be familiar with that feeling of being tired and ready to give up. And so their wise leader conjured a city. It was a vision, yes, but it did have real food and real rest and real safety and security. Granted, that wasn't the treasure itself, but it did provide the strength to keep going, to have the visions renewed. And that was when the leader told them that it was just a vision, but now you are strong enough to continue. I asked that we shared this story because I really believe that we all need magic cities. We all need rest stops of joy and beauty with songs and stories that have visions of justice that give us strength when the road is rough. And that's where we are today with my first Sunday preaching solo, sharing this message. And even as I share it, I can feel the shift happening right now. Even as I stand here, that we are moving. We're moving towards this vision of greater ministry. I know that y'all are like calm and like, how are we doing that, Ian? Well, let me tell you how y'all are doing that, how y'all are doing that already. We are already welcoming new companions on this road. We are already honoring and uplifting our elders and building new ways to have sacred souls as a gathering that we celebrate each other. We're nurturing religious exploration with children in small groups. And we're speaking out with courage, with justice, for justice in Atlanta. And we're also developing leaders who can guide not just this church, but our wider movement. This is the road that we're already on, and this is just the broad strokes. I know that sometimes, like those Magic City travelers, we feel tired. Maybe we get bored and unsure if we're going to be able to keep going, and so that's when we need some companions. And so, speaking of traveling companions, I want to tell you about, just very briefly, a little pilgrimage I had of my own with Reverend Taryn before she left on sabbatical. We were on the road heading to the board retreat at the mountain in North Carolina, and on our way there, we ran into traffic. And I don't got to tell y'all about traffic. I don't got to tell y'all know. And so the thing was, when I ran into this traffic, and I realized there was two ways I could handle this. Either get really frustrated and tighten my grip on the steering wheel and just get really angry, or relax into the reality that I had a really great traveling companion with me. Granted, most of the time, it's me that's my own good traveling companion in the traffic. But on this day, Reverend Taryn, she made the trip not just bearable, but joyful. And isn't that usually the case, that it's not even about the trip, it's not about the journey or even the traffic, it's about the company that you have. That's what it's about even here on this journey that we are taking right now. It's about the company that we keep. And while we're keeping each other company, sometimes we need some other tools. And on this journey with Reverend Taryn, I needed GPS, but it wasn't the GPS like global positioning system that I usually do rely on. It was something else. It was, I called it the gracious perspective system. That's what you need. That's what you need sometime when you're driving. But I also think that it's a resource that can help us along the way. And I know I'm low on time, so I'm gonna rush through this while I tell y'all about this GPS system. This is the nugget part. So the G is for grace and gratitude. I know today when we were doing the embracing meditation, there's a part in there that asks us to forgive ourselves and each other. And sometimes we take that for granted, or we don't carry it beyond this space. But we really must embrace a practice of grace. Grace that says we are more than our worst moment, than the people when we encounter them, they are more than that worst moment. Can we truly forgive ourselves and each other? And can we say thank you more than we complain? Maybe, that's the G. I mean, because if you think about it, on the journey, do you want to travel with somebody who isn't gracious, who isn't kind? You don't want to bring other co-companions onto that. So that's why you want to have this grace and gratitude. So the P, positive perspective. And I know I'm always smiling, and so people just think that I just have this joy that just abounds, but this is not a shallow cheer. It's a cheer that comes with the perspective of seeing clearly after listening to folks who are most impacted by situations, holding hope with them, and from that place of hope, I can be joyous with them and believe. That's what those songs are about, not giving up on hope and believing. As Howard Zinn wrote, to be hopeful in bad times is not foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, of sacrifice, of courage, of kindness. That's something to be joyous about. That's something that I can smile and be happy about. A perspective that says despair will not have the last word. And the last thing, the S of this GPS, support systems. We know here that nobody makes it alone. We need friends, we need each other, we need family, and sometimes we need therapists. Yes, we need our small groups and care teams and communities of faith, but we also sometimes need mental health support so that when we do come to church and we do want to share everything, all of our love that's bubbling over, it comes from a place that is grounded and well, so that we are making sure that we are taking care of ourselves when we show up in this community and bring other people to companion us here. And even when those supports aren't easy to find, it's important that we still make the efforts to reach out, knowing that isolation will drain us. And in those times when words are dry, that is when we return to song. Songs remind us of who we are and where we're going. Songs like Don't Stop Believing. Yeah, it's an 80s rock anthem, I know, but it's also a prayer against cynicism. The Climb, yes, a pop ballad, but it's also the gospel truth that it's not about the summit, it is about who we become along the way. Amen. Truly. And Woyaya, our hymn, an anchor in this faith, it is a reminder that heaven knows how we'll get there sometimes, but we also got to know within. Reverend Erica Hewitt once wrote that to be a Unitarian Universalist means that we'll never be done with the work of telling the truth about oppression, the work of resisting laws that deny anyone their humanity, the work of seeking out the divine spark in each other. But to be a UU also means that we're never alone. We get to be companions on the journey. We get to grow ourselves into allies. helping one another get free. Because none of us is free until we're all free. And isn't this the community that you want to bring people to be a part of? Beloveds, I know that many of us are carrying heavy loads. You got family, friends who are carrying heavy loads with health care that's out of reach, maybe benefits that don't stretch, a weariness that weighs. But this congregation is no illusion. It is a place of rest, a place where companions and songs meet you on the road and whisper, don't give up, keep going. It's also a place where dreams dare to live and thrive, where we can dream of a world where no one has to carry burdens alone. And so let me close and ask you this. Where is your road muddy and rough right now? And who is your companion on this journey? Or what songs maybe do you have in your back pocket that's helping to get you through? Don used to talk about those back pocket songs that you gotta have to help get you through. How are you practicing grace and gratitude, and where do you glimpse flourishing, welcome, and justice? Maybe it's here in this community if you keep journeying with us together, walking. So now, as we close, I want to just offer you my very short vision of what I see. I see us here in this community shining. I see us becoming the companions that this world needs. I see us letting our gracious perspectives and supportive love, GPS, spill out into radical welcome for neighbors, for strangers at the grocery store. Because truly, in these times of uncertainty and grief, people need communities of people who keep singing, who keep shining. And so now, as we close, I invite you to please rise in body and or spirit and let us sing together.